WWE 2K24 might surprise us with a couple of legends. The first one I'm really excited about is going to be the news that Ken Shamrock has signed a Legends deal with WWE. Shamrock made his debut in 1997, and he's been a tag team champion, an intercontinental champion, he won King of the Ring, and brand new merchandise for Ken Shamrock is on WWE Shop. So it does suggest that they have come to terms with a brand new deal, signing him to a Legends contract. And with WrestleMania 40 right around the corner, we could be looking at the possibility of Ken Shamrock being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'd love to see Shamrock in the game. It's been several years since we've had him in there. I don't know if someone like Shamrock would be big enough to be like a pre-order bonus, but I definitely would see him making it in as part of like a retro DLC pack, an Attitude Era pack. And speaking of Attitude Era, we also found out that the Headbangers are another tag team that have confirmed that they're probably going to be in the video game. Headbanger Thrasher took to Facebook to announce that he and Headbanger Mosh have signed a general WWE nostalgia contract, noted that WWE will be releasing their merchandise soon. Thrasher says that, quote, "I'm completely excited and fortunate to have this opportunity. The Headbangers have signed a WWE nostalgia agreement. Look for your Headbangers merch coming soon." Wrestling News CEO had the interview with the Headbangers and they said the following, quote, "It's basically merchandise. Action figures will be on the video games, hopefully t-shirts." And Mosh began saying, "We signed in March and they said it could take 10 to 12 months with production and stuff. I think once that starts, maybe it'll bring us back on TV because there's appearances rolled into that whole contract we signed. Now, when doing other stuff, we can do whatever we want, as long as there's no merchandise made of us and sold." This is awesome news. I love the Headbangers growing up in the Attitude Era. Could they make it into 2K24 is kind of the question. If they're not rolling out production for things like merchandise until like 10 months from now, it could take a little bit of time. It could be after WrestleMania 40. They may not make it in until 2K25 if that's the possibility. But I think if you're 2K, you're gonna go back into the well of all of the entrance animations and just grab the Headbangers in there, get the scans done for them and put them in the game. It's not gonna be that hard, even if they want to take an older model of the Headbangers and just have them upgraded. But with the Headbangers signing a nostalgia deal with WWE, we also know that months and months ago, the Dudley Boys also signed an agreement with WWE for a Legends contract. And that gives me big hope that we're gonna see the Dudley Boys in there, the Headbangers in there, Ken Shamrock. Those are huge names and huge nostalgia names and legends that really need to be in the game. Now, the other thing I wanted to note though, and we do have a big story coming up in just a second, but I wanted to look more in depth at like WWE Shop and give us any indication of what we could be looking at for any of the legends and possible legends we could see in the game. Because front and center on WWE Shop, we got the likes of Hulk Hogan, Brother, the Ultimate Warrior, Taker, but we also have Dusty Rhodes listed there. And on the side panel, you do have a list of all of the legends there, from Randy Savage, Piper, Austin, but then we see names like Bam Bam Bigelow, who have recently been added to WWE Supercard, the mobile game, and we have talked about how it is possible that Bam Bam is going to be in the next game. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get all these people in WWE 2K24. I mean, they have the Bella Twins still listed there under the Legends. They've been very vocal online about the, I guess, torn relationship between them and WWE not being brought back for Legends appearances and those things. I find it unlikely that the Bellas would be in the next year's game. They were in 23, and those that were fans of them, great, they got their hands on the Bella Twins. Not like that, get your mind out of the gutter. But I don't see it likely that they would be in the next game. But Dusty Rhodes, as an example, does have full merch in the WWE Shop where you can get American Dream t-shirts. So if there's more merchandise being sold, I feel like it's a little bit more likely that they could make it into the game. And other wrestlers and legends that do have some merchandise in WWE Shop, Mr. Perfect being one of them, and Lex Luger has a lot of t-shirts there. Lex Luger's also been on like WWE's The Bump doing interviews and having a little bit more of a working relationship with them. The Legends roster in the 2K games for me is always something that is hurting, that needs to have a lot more attention paid to it. I understand it's one of those things that they can only get so many names on the roster. It depends on the Legends deals, the contracts, all of that stuff to see if they're even eligible and if they're going to put them in the game. So by no means do I think that just because they're in WWE Shop, that means that it's a slam dunk they're going to be in the game. I just feel like it leans towards being a little bit more likely that they could make the appearance, which I'd be super excited for if we're getting Shamrock, Luger, Mr. Perfect, Dusty Rhodes. There's a lot of good names in there that they could leverage. And then you round it out with names like Headbangers, Dudley Boys, and you also add in obviously more NXT stars to round out a lot of the DLC. Not to mention we've got CM Punk, got Jade Cargill, who is still yet to make her first appearance, which my speculation here, I think Jade shows up at the Royal Rumble and makes her first big splash there, which would hit the timelines too if they're going to scan her, or they may have already captured her at this point. And the final name that we're going to talk about here, a lot of fans have been wondering, what's the situation? Will they be made available for the next video game? It's still not confirmed yet, but there is some good signs showing up right now that Bray Wyatt may in fact be in the next video game. Mike Rotunda, who's Bray Wyatt's father, appeared on Wrestling Talk discussing Bray Wyatt, discussing his son, his legacy. One of the things that they brought up in the interview was with regards to the Legends contract and WWE and Bray. Mike Rotunda wrote, quote, "I have to give WWE credit. They've done awesome helping our family out with a lot of different stuff. They put Wyndham on a Legends contract and all the proceeds go to. Wyndham has 4 children. Luckily we have them." Whether Bray Wyatt is in a video game or not it's irrelevant. The important thing here is the good move by WWE by supporting the family and putting all the proceeds for anything to do with like merchandise, videos, anything with the character with Wyndham. All the proceeds are going to the family and going to his kids. If that means that fans of his can get him in the next video game, that's a bonus. That's great, because then we can celebrate and enjoy his work and enjoy him as a WWE superstar and a legend in the next game. Would it mean that with the rumors that came out earlier, like a few months ago, of a Bray Wyatt edition of the game or a specialized showcase, would that happen? Maybe. I still do lean into the fact that it was very late when he passed, and 2K's development, it's already very late into the game at that point. I don't think they would switch gears when he did pass and do a revamped full showcase. Could be wrong, but I think it'd be way too far for them to be able to do all of that. I could see them doing a special edition of the game, which would be really cool. So if they did kind of an ultimate edition, an icon edition with Bray on the cover, that would be wonderful, because then the proceeds would theoretically go to his family, which is the best thing. And then fans could get their hands on that icon edition. At the very least, what I would love 2K to do is be able to give us like a Faces of Wyatt pack, a DLC, if they could do that, or just put them just straight into the game with all the different versions of Bray Wyatt over the years with WWE. That way we can all just celebrate his work, play as all the different faces and variations of Bray Wyatt as a character. Now, I did have one other thing I wanted to talk to all of you about today, and that is going to be a little bit of a speculation, a little bit of a rumor here, but it's mostly to get your thoughts. I did want to talk about Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks. With the Royal Rumble right around the corner, there is a lot of speculation about who could show up in the Rumble as part of Legends, people coming back to the company, and Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, is one of the names that really stands out to me. And we'll link all this in, we'll tie this neat little speculation thread together. It'll all make sense, ladies and gentlemen. But as per Fightful Select, AEW sources indicated that the two sides, so Moné and AEW, were set to work together once Moné was no longer injured at the time she appeared in the audience at All In London. However, those plans were no longer active at the beginning of December, and the two sides were far apart on terms. It was not confirmed whether that pertained to dates, schedule, financial terms, or booking. The report notes that it was not indicated that this means the door is closed there between Mercedes Moné and AEW. There were rumors that Mercedes being brought in around AEW Grand Slam 2023, but the company shut those down as she was still injured. As for New Japan, Rocky Romero was hopeful as of November that New Japan and Stardom could resume talks with Moné soon. The report also notes that Moné is not currently signed with New Japan, Stardom, or both promotions' parent company, Bushiroad. So if Mercedes Moné is technically a free agent, part of me feels like if she's coming off this injury and she's not liking what she sees over in AEW and doesn't feel like they can meet the expectations in terms of booking, finances, whatever the case may be, but if it doesn't feel quite right, there is a very, very good chance, in my opinion, that we get Sasha Banks in WWE at the Royal Rumble. That's just me speculating here, but I think that she's a giant name still. I think that the situation with her walking out of WWE was terrible, and I don't think WWE was in the right at all. I think they should have done a way better job with the tag team division and treating her like a bigger star. But with the new regime of Triple H and Nick Khan really running things and Vince is not there, there's a very good chance that she returns to WWE, and they could do it in a very big way at the Royal Rumble. CM Punk came back to WWE, everybody. Like, all bets are off now. Anybody can come back. And if there's good creative plans for someone like a Sasha Banks for WrestleMania, maybe involved with Damage Control, Bayley, doing something big at WrestleMania, it might not be too far off. Now, how does that all tie into WWE 2K, the video game? Here's where I pull the whole thread together, ladies and gentlemen. Because if she does show up and is back as Sasha Banks at the Royal Rumble, they could scan her like right then and there. Also, they could just scan her for the face and get her updated look. We still have the Sasha Banks motion in the game, so they don't even need to update the motion for the entrance or anything, the music, unless all the music in the Trons are different, but they have all those assets still there from 22, so we could still get her in the game, and they could just scan her face and her body and give us an updated version of her, and then just slap the rest together and it would all work out. Then you add her back in as like DLC, which is probably what they would do because they want to make all the money in the world. But what do you guys think about DLC possibilities? It's all starting to flow together now. We're getting late into the season. By the way, early happy holidays to all of you. We're still got lots of content coming out on the channel, going through all the winter break, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and if you guys want, check out this video right here because we got more 2K24 content coming at you. See ya.